Thank you, Jasmine, for that lovely introduction. I will not be using slides. It's all me. I hope you guys are into that. So thank you again for everyone joining us today at the Pacific Council AMPLIFY Pitch Ceremony. It's wonderful that you came out with all these competing priorities. So I'm truly grateful, and I know my fellows are as well. I am Lila Green, and I'm going to start with a bit of a story so you can get to know me and where I'm coming from. 20 years ago, I was in Nigeria for an internship with the US Embassy in Lagos. My parents were in the Foreign Service, and I was fortunate enough to be offered a summer position through them. The curious aspect was, I was a theater major. I was in the middle of my BFA, and I had never been to a country like Nigeria before, never been to a city like Lagos before, and I had also never been amongst policy and security folk before. And I came away from this experience thinking the most pressing issues are worse than I ever could have thought without seeing them face to face in real life. I started to think, how can we fix the level of depletion and suffering that I'm seeing? US national security policy has barely changed since World War II and has not changed at all since 9/11. On the heels of everything, from the fall of Afghanistan to the Taliban, the January 6th insurrection on the US Capitol, the Russian-Ukrainian war, to gun violence right here in the United States, it's clear that we have to come up with new ways to handle the challenges out there. My intention is to see a day when the global defensive posture norm is security through peace. I am motivated by a desire to just work myself right out of a job. And I envision this as being possible only through a new approach to problem solving, policy creation, and active operationalization. Resilience can only go so far. Let's create something for a post-resilience world. Let's aim for true, achievable peace. This is how I propose that we get there. A novel organization which brings together governmental and security leadership with artists of all kinds in a live space to dynamically solve the most urgent issues facing local, regional, national, and global policymakers. I call this the particle accelerator. Particle accelerators smash atoms together in a large, high-speed environment with the intention of creating an entirely new element. This scientific practice inspired me many years ago when I was an artist in the entertainment field. Cut to now, when I'm a security professional. I am still compelled by this kernel of thought. What if we had a physical space in the spirit of Andy Warhol's factory mixed with a particle accelerator, brought a wide swath of visionaries together from disparate communities in this unique, secure space to create something new that would change the world? What level of progress could we achieve by trying a new way to approach old and destructive problems? To meet this goal, we would require a functional space that physically brings together these groups to do the following. 1, create solutions for complicated policy issues, civil social problems, and national and international security concerns. 2, create more engaging and easily consumable media to educate the public on political and security agendas, issues, developments, etc. 3, help develop compassion and influence a more balanced point of view in our governmental leadership. 4, develop achievable schedules bound in a sacrosanct commitment for implementation of these schedules. And 5, have that space where two groups are motivated and inspired by each other while independently working. How is the particle accelerator different from other organizations doing peace and security? Because clearly this is quite a buzz phrase lately. We are actively and specifically bringing artists into the Situation Room. Artists have been affecting policy unintentionally for documented time. And here's a really good recent example. Do you remember the movie Super Size Me? Okay, I see a lot of nods. A lot of people remember it. For those of you who have never seen it, though, a filmmaker named Morgan Spurlock decided to eat McDonald's for a month straight, 3 times a day, and had to get the supersized option if it was offered to him. He also reduced his exercise to the American average. What he ended up making changed food policy forever. Fast food restaurants across the board, especially McDonald's, changed their menus, changed the quality of their food, changed sourcing techniques. Schools began to change their cafeterias. New businesses started cropping up, offering healthier options. 20 years later, we are still seeing the effects of that one documentary, and that was largely an unintentional outcome. What if we tried intentionally to change policy with the help of artists? The artists will come from all over: the film industry, the theater industry, painters, musicians, illustrators. We will reach out to respected individuals and organizations. A great example of the type of artists and organizations we are going to bring together is the recent partnership between the RAND Corporation and Georgia Loopy for the project Art Plus Data. This partnership, this project, was a totally novel, unique, singular project, but most of all, it was rare. Let's make these partnerships less rarefied and make them more mainstream. What makes an artist different, what makes me different as well, is that we are always searching for the truth and are rarely, if ever, satisfied with the status quo. In a famous exchange between legendary dancers Agnes DeMille and Martha Graham, Martha said, "Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at any time. There is only a queer, divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than others." Many policymakers do their best, but many also rest on their laurels. Many are stubborn. I'm not trying to insult them. I'm merely pointing out a cultural issue that needs a shot of adrenaline. Clearly, we need something to change. And artists do not resist change. They seek it. They embrace it. One of my fellows here at AMPLIFY recently said to me, "How do we pivot in times of urgency?" If there is anyone who would know how to teach others how to pivot, adapt, change tack in the blink of an eye, it would be people who are used to working under scrappy circumstances. When funding suddenly disappears, venues are suddenly falling apart, when colleagues suddenly take ill and it's you that needs to go on stage, and the policy folk, the security professionals, the leadership who need to figure out how to spread the dimes to cover all of the needs of a region, a state, a country, they would be able to take these new ideas to a level of use that is far beyond the access of a single artist. Where you can be fundamentally helpful is to invest in the startup of this project so we can dive right into solving these issues with our full infrastructure ready. I am asking for $1.25 million to get the full infrastructure and staffing salaries from day one. It is especially important to me to appropriately pay people who will be graciously working for me and for us all. As a single mother, to quote the masterwork musical Chicago, I just can't do it alone. One person can obviously do a lot, but it takes a community to do it all the way. You can help bring the particle accelerator to life by funding the project. And with this, you will play a fundamental role in a more secure, safe, happy life for all people. We would be a dynamic group, bringing the resource together with the knowledge base. A great example is the Carter Center, who in a 20-year campaign have managed to nearly eradicate guinea worm from sub-Saharan Africa, a devastating parasite that used to kill thousands in a despicable, avoidable death. This was only done by bringing together the resourced donors with the Carter Center knowledge base. Ever since the first atom was split in 1932, a new era of destruction began. And we can all say that it certainly has not subsided, if not has become worse. Let's make 2022 the year that we bring atoms together for a new world of reconciliation. One space, high speed, positive change. That is what the particle accelerator will be. Thank you.